Welcome back
to Operation Pixel.
We cleared the bog, and now we're going into the Sinking Temple. What if there's a T in it? What if it was the Stinking Temple?
I wouldn't want to be in there. We're sinking.
What do you got against stinking things?
It smells bad.
It's not good enough for you?
No. Heck
You
no.
want to be all...
This is what I think of that stinking
You want to
temple.
be all prissy elf?
Pressure.
And just afraid of anything that smells funny?
Take that.
And why are you hanging out with a dwarf? I'm probably farting all over the place. Oh, hey, Minotaur. Kind of stings. I'm gonna save.
Does your weapon do lightning damage?
I think mine might. It's been a bit since I checked. Yeah. Shocking burst. Oops.
No, everything's gonna fall around us.
Oh man, they get kind of stunned for a second when they get that lightning damage. It's pretty rad. It's gonna help a lot on some of these guys.
Oh yeah. Just imagine we had like to do with a boss of this.
Yep.
That'd be a great tip to know.
Yeah, well, I mean, we sort of did it last time. That's how I got some hits in. Did you just complain about being overburdened?
Yes.
Great. You're always carrying...
Man, they're trying to hug you to death. I would expect something a little more sinister for a
Yeah, I don't know.
Minotaur.
These Minotaurs actually look pretty goofy to me because they look kind of like, almost like they're just nude people with like freaking bovine hoods or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look at him. He's kind of like a nude guy.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it kind of does. We're being attacked by nudists. Nudists. Furry nudists.
Yeah, nude cow people. I gotta say though, like, I mean, I don't understand like the furry thing at all. I know some people who are furries, so I don't want to like, you know, sound like I'm coming down on them, because they're all good people. But like, I don't get it. That being said, like, a Minotaur would be a sweet fursona.
Oh yeah, it would. Not too bad there. But at least it's not like those some people, because I've seen certain shows where people believe like they're vampires and stuff like that.
Yeah,
There's
that's...
this one show where these people, they were coming up with these new type of vampires, like a psi vampire, like a psychic vampire that instead of feeding off blood or anything like that, they feed off like your aura, your psychic energy, and they supposedly said. And they're trying to bring up like some science of it, where they have like some special camera that's supposed to take a picture of your aura, and there's like this sphere, well, circle-like thing, and there's these lines coming off it with the color. They say, "Oh, here's someone."
Is this like a Ghost Hunters kind of bullcrap, or is this like in new drama series, psychic vampires?
No, it's definitely bullcrap, but
Well, it's bullcrap
it
either
was
way.
off,
I'm just wondering if this is like a fictional TV show, or like look at us as we're hunting some fictional thing in the real world.
no, this was a guest on a talk show.
Okay, then yeah, this is pretty crazy sounding. Like if it's for a TV show, it's like okay, I can see them trying to do something new and interesting. But if this is just some crazy person who thinks there's vampires out there sucking people's invisible auras, it's like. Anytime people start talking all spiritual like that, I'm like, come on, guys.
It's like there was these different
dead.
people.
I was trying to heal, it didn't work.
There's these different people. They first had this one guy who was very tall, very scrawny, and he said, "Oh, I'm a vampire because look how scrawny I am, and I can leg press some insane amount of weight." And what he did
first of all,
was
two things I want to mention. Genetics play a huge part in your size and your strength. And secondly,
longer
leg
muscles
press
or stronger muscles.
leg press isn't really a good freaking indication of strength. I've seen some people who like because like I think I saw this online somewhere. Someone was talking about how like they were doing like some strongman type stuff or some weightlifting type stuff, and like they could deadlift or something like that, like 1,000 pounds, but they could leg press something like 2,000 pounds or something like that. Like, it's probably the machine you can get the highest on.
Yeah. So basically, it was this guy saying, "Hey, look how effortlessly I'm able to do all these plates on this machine thing." And he is a pretty scrawny dude, and he was pretty tall.
Sure.
But it's like, oh, look at that. And then he does drink blood and stuff like that, and he has like pale skin.
Well, then he's just a weirdo.
And then there was this other lady who it's like a different type of vampire where they don't like hunt per se. They have like a person that sustains them. And I think it's like her boyfriend or her husband or something like that. That like
you watch way too much trash TV,
cut,
man.
And then she kind of just feeds off his essence and whatever like that. And then
you watch way too much trash TV, man.
And there's this one other person that was like, he's basically just like some emo guy, but he says, oh, he's a vampire. And then this other lady that's like, oh, the Psy vampire. I'm able to influence people's moods and whatever like that.
I'll have to come back for this.
And impact them in some way. And I can drain their life force.
Why do you watch this crap?
I didn't like. I mean, this all happened like in a few minutes. I didn't like invested a whole talk show thing on this topic. I was just like flipping through channels and like, oh, I heard vampires. Like, oh, vampires are cool. It's like,
are vampires cool? Have vampires ever been cool? I'm curious. Like,
well,
have
depends
vampires
on
ever been cool?
Which iteration of vampire are you going on? If you're going like on Twilight, then it's pretty lame. But if you're doing like something like Interview with a Vampire,
was that the Brad Pitt movie?
Yeah, it had Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, so I watched that one on Netflix a while ago. It was pretty lame, I gotta say.
Well, it's not. I mean, as
like,
far as like the
thing is,
vampires, not that serious.
Yeah, like the movie was pretty lame. Like I can see the subject matter being interesting, but the movie itself, like it's not something you'd want to make a movie off of.
Yeah.
You know, I can see like a book being written about that.
It actually is a book.
And yeah, that's what I imagine. But like, it wasn't a good movie.
Yeah, movie-wise, no. But I mean, like talking about like just vampires in general.
But that's the
like,
point, though. Is it doesn't make it cool, though. It's just like it was more of like a philosophical thing. You know, it's sort of like in 300, right?
Yeah.
There was the one part where the hunchback guy, they're like, he's turned on us or whatever, and Leonidas looks at him and says like, I hope you live forever. And like that one line summarizes literally the entire point of the entire Vampire's Diaries movie or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Because it's basically just like the curse of immortality. You know, having to live forever with like who you are and what you've done. So it's like trying to turn it into an entire movie is pointless because it's an interesting concept, but it's not something that's cool about vampires. It's just a thing about immortality.
Yeah.
So anyway, my point is that I didn't think it was a very good movie. I think it was, like, okay. It wasn't, like, poorly done or anything. Everything about the movie was fine. It's just that, like, the plot of it's, like, you know, like, there's...
Yeah,
I think movies gotta have, like, character development and, you know, a decent kind of, like, character's journey kind of thing. And, like, they went to a lot of places and they did a lot of things and a lot of things happened. But, like... You know, didn't really, like, I guess it did feel kind of like reading someone's journal or diary kind of thing. Like, their life wasn't that interesting. They're just like, I moved places, I got a new job, I lost that job, I moved somewhere. You know, I got into a relationship, I left a relationship. It's like,
yeah.
You know, it's a journey, but it's not really like, I don't know, it's just not something you want in a movie, really. I don't know, maybe it's just my opinion. We're all allowed to have our own opinions.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think, again, like, my argument really just goes back to that I don't think vampires are by default interesting.
Well, something I found kind of interesting, like in, there's a movie that's kind of crossing between werewolves and vampires.
Twilight?
No. Underworld.
Oh yeah,
Screw Twilight, man.
I watched one of those on Netflix.
But in the first, have you seen the first movie?
Yeah, I think the first one was the only one I watched. I honestly didn't care for that one too much either.
Alright, then I wouldn't really be spoiling anything, but the whole point of the movie was the werewolves were trying to get like a leg up on the vampires that were trying to find someone who was the ancestor of one of the first lichens. And the guy turns out to be the love interest of the main woman in the movie.
Yeah.
Turns out to be that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And later on, the main leader lichen guy, who actually, if you watch the other ones, you find out he's like the first of his kind.
No room. Have to come back for this.
He infects him with that virus. It turns him into a werewolf that he would once the full moon comes. And she therefore bites him as he's kind of changing. And now he is able to be both vampire and werewolf.
That is such bullcrap.
So he
Like,
gets
the
like
fact
the
that they
added
made, like,
benefits of both.
Like, the fact... Like, I get bothered every time they try to, like, make, like, oh, vampires and werewolves have so much in common, we should put them in the same movie, because they have, like, some freaking historical brood war kind of thing going on. It's like... Man, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
I
pretty
thought it was
over
really
top.
dumb in, like, Van Helsing, too. Van Helsing, I actually sort of enjoyed the movie. It's not, like, a great movie again, but, like... I watched it when I was in, like, middle school or something, and I thought it was pretty cool. But that part I thought was dumb, that it's like, only a werewolf can kill a vampire. It's like, what? What is this bullcrap? I don't know. Art gets mad at me, because I'm difficult to please. I've watched a lot of movies. Like, honestly, my most glowing review is usually like, it was okay.
That's kind of like my sister. Like, the best thing she says, like, it's alright. Okay. But I kind of like the whole fusion of it, with the fangs for the teeth, kind of combining the concept of werewolves versus vampires, because vampires just have the traditional two fangs. You might have like the lower set of canines in the bottom, or you might have kind of like in 30 Days of Night, another vampire movie.
Oh, you watch a lot of vampire movies.
Well, I like a lot of horror films, so.
Vampires aren't even horrifying, though.
A lot of ones that have come out that are for that genre are vampire that I've come across. And for that one, it's not a traditional two-fang kind of a thing. It's kind of like each teeth is kind of like a multitude of those jagged fangs, instead of like your traditional type teeth where it's more flat. Each one is its own jagged point.
I don't know, man. Kind of smells like bullcrap to me.
Well, it's all bullcrap.
I mean, if you go far enough back, yes, it's all just a bunch of fictional nonsense. But I don't know, man. Once people try getting too fancy with vampires and werewolves, it's like they're not really vampires and werewolves anymore. They're just someone like, hey, wouldn't it be romantic if vampires and werewolves had babies? And it's like, oh, great. Get out of here. Or, oh, what about psychic vampires? That would be cool. It's like, no.
I think
It's
those
not
people were
cool.
just simply just outcasts, and they were wanting to find a niche of people that they could identify with. And
I think at some point or another, right? Everybody kind of wishes they were special. You know, you watch like an anime or something like that, and you're like, oh, what would my special power be? And I'm dead, by the way.
oh jeez, I thought they were here living and just talking as you're going.
No, man. But yeah, I forget what I was just saying. I can't remember what I was. I hate it when that happens. I died and then I forgot what I was talking about.
Well, we're talking about werewolves. We're talking about werewolf and vampire babies. Like, oh, come on.
Oh, yeah. Oh, right. I was saying that I think at some point or another, right, everybody like, thinks that they're special. You know, every once in a while, you probably daydream. I know I've had thoughts every once in a while. It's like...
Saitama?
It's like, oh, man, like, if I was an X-Man, what would my special ability be? My mutant ability? And so I can imagine at some point, maybe some people get carried away, and they're like... I'm actually a vampire. Yes. That's my dark secret. And, you know, maybe if they get carried away with it and nobody tells them they're wrong, or some movie studio comes by and is like, hey, we're doing a thing about weird people. And they're like, oh, I'm a vampire. Like, it's a chance to be on TV.
And also another thing like that that kind of segues away from the whole furry concept is there was another thing I saw, not on TV, but like in an article of someone who identifies...
Is this going to be a long story?
No.
Okay, then go ahead.
Who
it's time for next time on Operation Pixel.
Who identifies as a mermaid.
That's a little weird.
Yep.
Anyways, we'll be back next time on Operation Pixel.
Katitu fire!
And I'm guessing this is like a portal to the,
to the tower or something.
Probably to the Onyx Tower, I would guess. We'll find out, though, next time, won't we?